Let's turn now to Tuna Amobi for more on Netflix earnings and what he sees ahead for that company. He is the senior media and entertainment analyst at CFRA Research. Tuna, welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Sue.
Julia mentioned the subscriber growth and the pricing. You know, the company said that basically they do not think that new entrants will affect them, the Disneys of the world. But aren't they facing a very different landscape coming up in the next year?
They are. I think clearly, the streaming landscape has dramatically evolved with the entry of Disney and Apple and other announcements coming up. So I think Netflix has to really face a new reality. Now, that being said, we think that the impact is not going to be immediate. Over the near term, all of these players, I think, should benefit from a growing pie, especially in the international market. So to your point, I think the guidance that Julia had mentioned was quite weaker than the street was expecting. Some of that has to do with price increase still working through. But all in all, I think the underlying momentum remains intact.
What do you think is most important in terms of strategy to meet the competition? Is it the content, which can be expensive, or is it pricing? And Disney's already come out with a pretty low price for their new service.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think content, if I can point to the singular most important factor, is to make sure your content is up to snuff. And Netflix has been preparing for this day when they basically have to rely a lot more on the original programming. That's why you see they're looking to spend almost $15 billion in cash content spend this year. As far as pricing, no question, I think Netflix's price increase appeared to be fortuitously timed, especially with Disney coming out aggressively, $6.99 per month, and Warner Media and Comcast, all others trying to jump in. We're a little wary of potential price competition. There's elasticity in the business model of streaming as consumers have more choice, but we do believe that over time, all of these major players are going to do just fine. Potential detriment of these smaller weaker players.
All right, Tuna, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuna Amobi with CFRA Research.